We are live coming here with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we are joined by Alex. Alex, how you doing tonight?
Yo, yo, yo.
And we're also joined by Andy. Andy, how are you doing tonight?
What up? What up?
And we are here, finale, part 2. I mean, we did it, boys. We did it. We got through. I mean, believe it or not, this season started in August. We've gone through how many breaks in between, how many 19 episodes. I don't know how many I got left in me, Tej, but we're done, boys. This is it. This is our last recap before arguably my favorite type of episodes, the season recap. But we're here first, the finale part 2 EP. I'll give the floor to Alex, his brother, Andy. What do you think? What'd you think?
I'm glad that we're done. I thought this was and first and foremost, hello to all the AWLs. Hope you all had a great Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, etc.
Wait. Somebody's ringing in right now. Who is this? Oh shit! It's our boy Jordan. Oh god! I mean, what is this? Jordan is. What's up, Jordan? What's up, Trev? How's it going?
I mean, come on.
I mean, the GOAT. But Andy, continue.
I mean, Trev, if you really wanted to take it one step further, you could have done like one of these.
I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of to describe tonight's episode.
Okay, so your opening thoughts then.
Yeah, we're changing it up. It's not like me to interrupt at all times, so I think it's only fair to do it one more time for the best episode this season. So,
okay.
It was the best.
Are you? What?
It was the best episode of the year.
It was terrible.
It was the best episode of the year.
So, like I was saying, one, I'm glad to be back on STP, talking to the AWLs. Unfortunately, this episode was terrible. I caught myself, for the first time all season, falling asleep mid-episode. It was a complete snooze fest. I am glad it's over. And thinking the fact that this started in August, like, I know people joke about the challenge being a sport and Bananas thinking, they're actual athletes. TJ called them athletes tonight. Do you think they're trying to do like the full length of a season? Like the NFL started in September and it'll be over in February? So the challenge going from August to January is essentially the same time. Is that what they're trying to do here? Like, are we going to have a challenge commissioner at some point in time? I mean, this is just bananas.
Well, I think we said years ago, 52 weeks of BME. I think we're living in it now. I think we finally are here. I mean, this challenge spinoff Rivals 5 or whatever they want to call it. That's going to go until like September. And then we're just going to have the next season right after.
Wait, how long? I've literally never watched any of those spinoff bullshit Mickey Mouse seasons that they do. How long do they normally last?
It's like 2-3 months.
It's shorter than the flagship, though.
It's like 11 episodes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
But we're going to have to take off because Easter's near. And then, we might get some other holiday around. So
some award show.
Yeah. I mean, so.
Wow.
I mean, it's not like World Series Game 7, that kind of for the higher level. Alex, opening thoughts.
I mean, yeah, like you guys said, I didn't really enjoy this episode in particular. But I still like the season. I'm glad that we're done with it. And I'm glad, I think, like Mikey the Doctor said, I think the right people won. And we'll get into the winners and kind of the standings and everything.
All right, Soda Boy.
I liked the final 8. I liked the winners. But the last hour and a half that we got tonight just wasn't that entertaining. So I'm excited to talk less about kind of what I was thinking is talk less about the actual final and more about kind of the legacies of all these clowns.
Well, I just want to say
what I was thinking. I think if we just the legacies is what we need to be talking about tonight. If we focus on legacies, then we're gonna have some fun conversations.
one legacy I want to talk about is the challenge itself, because I want to bring up one point. What the fuck are we doing with 2 winners for the female? I'm sorry. That's Mickey Mouse bullshit, like soft. Have them do a challenge. If I'm TJ, I'm saying, all right, first one to swim to the island and back wins. Like, do something. I mean, a tie? Are you kidding me? Is that where we're at now? A tie?
Are you surprised? Have you seen? I was on the first train of TJ's being a soft little baby back bitch. I said that years ago. Old school TJ wouldn't have let that flown, regardless of what production is telling him. He would have been like, "All right, rock paper scissors, let's go."
Could you imagine rock paper scissors?
Or at least like
wait, on go.
I think they could have at least given them the option, because didn't they do that with when CT and that one other guy or Casey won? They had the option to split up the money how they wanted, but that was to the other people, right? Like, give them the option to do it, so that way if they say that we're just going to tie, it's on them. But the fact that the show's the one saying, yeah, we're fine with ties, that's not my challenge.
Yeah, it's something, man. It's fucking something. I'm just so pissed how tonight ended with that. So
it was kind of the worst possible ending for arguably like the worst possible finale.
do you guys think that, like, the challenges itself, the checkpoints, I should say, do you think this was the worst final that we've had? I think in most recent years, this final was terrible. But one thing that was in the back of my mind watching the whole thing, who would have dominated this final?
Wes.
Yes. Do you think? I'm just throwing it out there. Do you think production asked Wes and Wes declined to challenge 40 and they were just pissed and they're like, I mean, when was the last time we've ever had swimming on a final? Like this distance? Like
this distance, never.
Yeah.
And that's my point, is like, do you think production was like, fuck Wes, yeah, we fucking hate Wes for not doing the show, blah, blah, blah. And literally, they're like, okay, Wes is good at swimming, bring on the swimming. Like,
well, let me go this route with you. Are we making finals too hard? And I ask that because I don't think this is necessarily the hardest final ever, but it was hard and it was exhausting. And I guess I'm just thinking, like, I know finals back in the day, there used to be carnival games. We graduated from that into this kind of era where they're like incredibly hard. They take several days and everything. And I like that. I like that they're hard. But I feel like some of the past 10 seasons that we've had, even maybe earlier than that, by the time you get halfway through the final, everybody just kind of has this mindset of like, I just want to finish. I'm just like exhausted. And like, now my goal is to kind of just finish this. Whereas what their goal should be is like, I want to beat this fucker that's right next to me. And I feel like, I mean, we definitely saw it tonight. Like, they were all kumbaya at the end there. We've seen it before. And I feel like they're almost just making them too hard to the point where their only goal changes mid-final. Obviously, they still want to get first, but they become so tired and so depleted of energy that their mindset completely changes. And they're just like, I want to finish, but I would rather it be something that's maybe 20% easier that kind of keeps them all engaged and all like, my goal is to get first place and beat everybody else. I feel like it's kind of shifted.
Here's my thought process is it was so like your point, like, yes, it was like, I mean, what the fuck are we doing? Where people are on boats singing songs? Is that how desperate we are to just fill time? Like, we can't just give them like a night to sleep. Like, I understand you want to do an overnight thing or whatever, but to the point, like, what are we doing? Like, it should have just been the counting. The singing was dumb. Uh, it did kind of give me vibes. Remember Invasion when Teej walked in? Yes, the beads. Did give me that vibe of the counting. But the point is, like, I just don't understand where the challenge is going with finals. I don't. I really don't. I mean, the karma votes, I mean, ruined. I mean, it as crazy as it is, like, Bananas will get a 0 every single time in the karma vote. He'll finish last. So, like, his legacy is like, and if you have CT in that spot, he'll probably gets a 5 9 out of 10 times. Like, and I think that's bullshit. Like, Michelle, for example, I think Michelle surprisingly had a very, very good performance in the final. And the thing that screwed her over was people. And that's just like, I don't think people from the like eliminated people should have a say in what happened. Like, if Trevor beat Andy, Andy shouldn't say shit of how Trevor finishes this game, my opinion. Vice versa. If I get eliminated by Andy, which won't happen, I shouldn't have dictate Andy's game. I disagree with that. But
So, a couple things from my perspective. One, I totally agree with everything you just said. If you lost, you're a loser. You're done. Period. Like,
unless Redemption
House, different story. But this was so dumb. We were worried about it all season, how it was going to affect it, and guess what? It did affect it, which was bullshit. To Alex's point, Bananas is going to. Or I don't remember which one you have. He said it, but like, Bananas got low from Kara because of Sarah. Are you fucking serious? Like, that totally ruins it. Like, I get like alliances and not trusting people because of past stuff, but like, to vote for this, and the people voting, they didn't really know what they were doing. So like, they didn't know the impact of what they were going to do. Total swing and a miss on their part. I also think that they're making it hard just to make it hard. Like, there weren't that difficult of puzzles or checkpoints to do, really. Like, I don't think anyone like timed out. Like, typically you see someone timing out at one of the stops. We never saw that. It was just hard for hard's sake. The whole nighttime elimination, look, I'm done with the overnight finales. I'm done with them because the challenge always does some stupid shit like this that just fucks with them. And I get that, like, the mental game is as important as the physical and all that, but like, this overnight was just pointless. It made no sense. It was dumb. Like, you had someone like Tori who stayed up all night counting all this shit, who finished dead last. You had Ginny who tapped out immediately so she could get sleep and still finish third. Like, it's just so fucking dumb. They just made it hard just to make it hard. Give me a 12-hour finale from like 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 12 hours. Give me all you got, and that's it. But like, all this overnight stuff, you go back to like, it might have been the first one with Bananas and Sarah and the log and the Adderall and all that. Like, it is just, the overnight finale is just not a good idea. Just scrap it, make it a hard final, make it hard checkpoints, don't have them swim 30 miles, and just let it unfold. This is just like, all of what we saw today is the challenge getting in the challenge's way, where production does too much. They force this fucking karma vote bullshit. They make you swim across the Atlantic. Like, just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Yeah, no, I think we've all kind of hit the same point. It's just like, it's almost like a hodgepodge. They're just throwing shit, and they're just like, oh, let's just do this. Let's just do this. And it's like, keep to the basics. Like, just give us a good old-fashioned run to the top of the mountain. First person there wins. That's all I'm asking for.
That was my last point, Trev. I'm glad you brought that up. I just want to see someone cross a fucking finish line.
Yes.
That's it. I don't want to have them all get together and then tally up the points and then tally up the karma votes and then decide who's going to win. Fuck that. That's not a race. That's bullshit. It's so dumb. Make it like one hard puzzle for the checkpoint. Make the second one a hard physical aspect. Make the third one an eating thing. We didn't get an eating throughout this whole finale.
I think it should have just been like kind of like a marathon where it has checkpoints, but it's one sprint essentially. Like if they want to go the checkpoint route, is as soon as you're done, like the fact that we had one checkpoint tonight where it was like Trevor versus Alex in math, and then next person comes up and sits in the chair. Like, what are we doing? Like, just I don't know, man. I don't know.
It was pretty stupid. I think we got to get the vibes going in a more positive way. I think we got to kind of shift to breaking down the final standings and what it means for our final 8 competitors here.
All right, so where do we want to start? We want to start in 4th place first of Tori. Let's start with the females. Tori. We'll go 4th place female, 4th place male, 3rd place, 2nd, 1-1. Good?
Should we just do all females first?
Not this again. Yeah, so we'll go 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. All right. We'll do all females first. That's fine. Tori. 4th place. I think out of all the females this season, top to bottom, she was the best. My opinion. I think she had the most wins. I think when she needed to win, she won. Except I guess the end. Yeah, but the end is so like it's like winning a national title. It's hard to win.
I mean, like you said, she had a really good season this year. She won a ton. She won in the first half of the season when they were on teams. She won, I think, over half of the challenges when they were individuals. And I feel like the final standings for all 4 in the final were decently close. I don't know. I feel like Tori is still young enough in her challenge career that I don't think this really like hurts her legacy or anything. She obviously won last time. She has made a few other finals. Like I think Tori comes back as she comes back next season. She's like locked in as a top 5 girl in our power rankings. That's kind of where she is at this point in her career.
Do you think, without jumping too far ahead of anything, do you think she is the face for the females moving forward? And if not, who? You think so?
Yeah.
I think with the age and I agree with that. And Andy, I'd like to hear your opinion. I just think she's the complete package of what the show is. Now, she wasn't a Real World member. She was Are You the One? And then Are You the One Second Chances? I know me and Adam Meadows were very high on that show.
Who?
Exactly. I mean, I think he's still swimming with Anissa back on Islands too.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this one. If they threw Anissa off the Sinister, she would just drop like a bag of rocks.
The Sinister would be more like the Titanic. Come on.
It's going down.
All right, Andy.
What was the question?
Tori, 4th place legacy. Thoughts?
Oh, yes, face of the challenge. She's also got a good face. That always helps.
And she's got a great. All right.
That was D-Wade LeBron. Yes. I think she is the face of the challenge. I think her legacy is still top notch. It's kind of upsetting to see her finish this low, especially considering the season she had. I think she deserved more, but when you need to win, you have to win, and Tori didn't win. But she's still a beast. She has a very well-rounded game. This could be a little. We just need to see where Tori wants to take herself And what I mean by that is I feel like it was around this time in Kara's career where she got super into CrossFit. She got very in shape. She started treating this like a sport, like the bananas of the world. Jordan's starting to do that as well. It seems like, will Tori follow that path, or will she follow more like the Anissa path where she like has one of those punch cards like at Applebee's where like if you go there, 5 times you get a 6th meal for free, and it's very evident, and then just falls off a cliff. And her and Anissa are good friends. So I don't know. I would love to see Tori still be a good competitor, still have the drive, kind of take more of that Kara path of like you start the back 9 of your career ish, and you say like, I still want to be the face. I still want to be the one driving these. And I think if that happens, I think she could go down as top female dog, top bitch.
Wow. Well, moving forward, number 3, Michelle. What do you think about Michelle, Alex?
I think my kind of takeaway from Michelle for this season, and I guess particularly the last 2 episodes, is that I think she showed me a lot, not just this season, but the final in particular. Like I mean, I thought there was a chance going into the final reveal that like she might have won it all, just because like she had a couple first places. I thought her karma points might have been decently high with all of those vacation losers going home. Michelle kind of showed me that she has the potential to win a final, which I didn't necessarily believe before the final, and definitely not before the season. I think she is clearly not like on the same physical level as a Ginny, as a Rachel, but just as an overall challenger, seems like she doesn't really have any glaring weaknesses. She's a good political player. Aside from the fact that she cries a shit ton, like she gets along with people. She knows how to play the game. She won 3 eliminations this season. And I just thought that kind of going into the final, that would be like the end of her run. I thought she would kind of get blown out by 3 really strong girls in Tori, Ginny, and Rachel, and that she would get 4th place and kind of be good with it. And she got 3rd. I think she was pretty close to being like 2nd or 1st. Like, I think she just showed me that like now I wouldn't be shocked if she finds a win at some point in her challenge career. I don't think she's going to be like number 1 on our power rankings for any given season. I don't think she's going to rack up, multiple challenge titles or anything like that. I just think she has the potential to pull it off at some point.
Trev, do you agree with that?
I agree. I think Michelle, she surprised me this final. I thought she was going to cry like every checkpoint. She was just going to be completely checked out and not perform. The fact that she was in 2nd place before the karma vote surprised me. Like it like that's the difference between $75,000 and $25,000, just like that. So I think I was very surprised by her performance. Now, the one statement he said, I think she can win a final, I believe you said.
Yes.
Correct.
I don't think she can win a final.
That's what I thought. I was asking if you agreed or not.
What?
Continue.
I just don't think she can win a final. I think
you agreed with what I was saying?
Yeah, the back half of everything, but not the opening statement.
Okay.
Because I still think she's a great. Everything you said, I agree with, except I don't think she's going to win.
Okay.
I just think there's some people like a Leroy, for example. I think a Leroy is a great competitor, has a lot of alliances and stuff, but just could never get it done. I see Michelle as that type of person, and I think she burns too many bridges. I think the difference between her and other players too, she has a lot of enemies, and that was shown tonight when she was finished last in the karma votes. Like, once you get branded, like, I mean, there's only a handful of people that can come through and win. I don't think she has it in her. And think about this. Is she the most I won't say the most, is she one of the most branded players to never win a title in the challenge?
I mean, one, I think her brand is kind of just now starting, and two, I think she's just now really starting her career.
But let me go this route with you. We literally just did a season with 4 eras, and she has burned bridges in almost every single era.
But she also has.
Did she really burn bridges in era 1? Like, what was she doing bad to Mark Long?
Who? He was on the season?
Like, they just didn't know who she was. They didn't know any of these people. They could be like their granddaughter.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
I disagree with Alex. She's not going to win a final. She just doesn't. She doesn't have the physicality. I think she's got the mentals, both from a like smarts perspective, social perspective, and also, and I think this is what this challenge showed, like the drive to complete a final, to compete in a final, to do well. But I just don't think she's got the physicality to actually do it. I would love her to win one because I think that first confessional after she comes back winning a challenge would be phenomenal. But I don't see it happening.
I think there's a chance. I think she showed me that there's a chance, especially, I mean, it definitely helped tonight that it was very swimming heavy. It seems like she's a really, really good swimmer. And so if she finds herself like in another, think about this, if she finds herself in another final, it's most likely going to be against easier female competition, at least slightly easier, in which case, like, I could see her figuring out. I mean, this final was, they were literally doing the math on an island drinking coconut water. Like, if it is something that's.
You get bad at that, though.
She did do bad at that. Remember, she was telling Derek, just give me this.
Yeah. He was like, no.
And then Derek kind of sat there for like 15 seconds waiting for Michelle to answer. And he was like, I know the answer. I'm out of here. All right. What about the 2 first place girls?
Well, again, double first place. I mean,
wait, I thought we were going third place now.
We just finished third.
Oh, so we're doing the girls first.
Oh my God. Yeah. So we got to establish something. Is this considered 2 rings or 1 ring or half of a ring for these girls?
I think they each get a ring. And if I'm being honest,
asterisk.
I kind of like that they tied.
I think this is very Mickey Mouse Chelsea Champions League asterisk.
Whoa.
How do you like they tied? I mean, you're like a guy who probably likes finishing the NFL regular season 9-8 and just getting by, happy you made the playoffs. Oh, wait, didn't make the playoffs, didn't win the division. I just think a tie is like, there has to be something decided. Hell, flip a coin.
What is this? Friday Night Lights?
The movie.
God. Alex, I want to hear why you thought you liked the tie.
So for one, just as a challenge historian, I like it because I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've ever actually had a challenge tie in a final. So I think that's just kind of fun to say. And I think they're both deserving of it. And the other thing, when we were talking about kind of like what they could have done to potentially break this tie as like another tiebreaker or challenge, I think the best part of it is probably imagining that the producers, when they did the math and everything, they probably didn't even consider that this was a possibility. They probably thought it was just like binary, like either whoever wins the karma vote, like however the standings are, they're just going to interlock with the regular standings and it'll either switch them up or down. There's no chance they could possibly tie. And then they actually do the math and they're like, oh shit, we're actually assigning a numerical value of points to each one of these checkpoints and double to the karma vote. And so that could lead to somebody tying somebody else. I think they just didn't really plan for this at all.
I thought, you know that little board that they showed? And I promise this is the last time I'm bringing it up this season.
Yes, I
Did
know.
anybody else get Mario Party vibes at the end of the game?
Yes.
Board? I'm sorry. I know we kind of stretched the line, but that is a direct correlation. That is a direct thing from Mario Party. If they would have brought in the little line graph, I would have just walked out.
Well, and the karma vote was essentially like the bonus stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know what it's going to be. It's going to impact the game. But guess what? In Mario Party, if you still end up with the same amount of card or stars, it goes to coins. There has to be a winner. And that's why, like, what they could have easily done is just if there's a tie, it defaults to whoever got the most points in the finale. Because it was like 21-2 for Jenny, and then 19-4 for Rachel. If there's a tie, it defaults back because if Rachel jumped Jenny as a result of the bonus stars, okay, fine. If that's how you're gonna fucking throw this twist, I'm okay with it. But if it's gonna tie, it has to then go to something, and you have very clear data saying this person's better than this person. Like, it was just dumb. Jenny dominated this final, and Rachel did not do well. She did not deserve to win this finale based on how she performed. So it was just dumb.
Felt very NFL Chiefs-esque, just somehow getting a pass interference call late.
And we also, I know that they would never do this, but just and they showed the little snippets of, CT and Kara and hell, even Kellyanne, throwing their little vote. What?
Is that a little Boston accent for the
Yeah.
Kara? I mean, what are you, from the fucking town?
Who's Kawi taking? It's actually not the line. It's who's Kawi gonna take.
Right.
But I know they showed the little snippets, but just show me the math. I know they would never do that, but I fucking hate when BME has a critical piece of information like this, and all we see is, oh, well, Ginny got a 2, and Rachel got a 6, and Tori got a 10. What the fuck do you mean? You're just throwing, you're pulling this out of thin air. That's what I hate. That's why I want the race in the finale. I want someone to cross the line. I want to see who wins, not just leave it up to some fictitious karma vote that the BME producers generate out of fucking thin air and then say, oh, here are the final standings.
Yeah, I mean, Andy, sometimes the Mario Party, I still can't get that out of my head. It literally is.
This whole season was Mario Party-esque.
I think we said it early on, the producers were just watching their kids play probably the new Jamboree game or whatever on their Switch, and was like, let me see that for a second. Beep, boop, bop. Actually, that's impossible because Jamboree came out in October, and the season has literally still been going since then. God. All right, so let's talk about Jenny. Let's talk about her legacy. I think Jenny, will we see her ever again? I'll start there.
Yes.
On a true season, not no all-stars, true season, still yes or no?
Yes.
Andy?
Nope.
No. Okay, I'll start with Alex. Why not? Or why will she be back?
I just think she's shown that she's one of the best girls in the game. And I know that a lot of the cast doesn't like her. I know she's a little quieter. She's underratedly old. I think she's 36 or 37 years old.
37.
Which would lean you to say that she might not be back. But I mean, this season we had people in their 50s, legitimately. So I don't think she's going to be back for a long time. But I do think she'll be back again. I mean, she's done 3 seasons, 2 rings, 2 dominant rings. And I just think we'll see her back one more time. I don't think she'll win because she'll have a huge target on her back, and her whole kind of edit will be like, I'm a 2-time challenge champ. I've won the last 2 that I've done. And they'll all go for her, and eventually she'll lose some like fluky elimination or something. But I think she'll get a call back every season now, and I think she'll eventually say yes to one.
Okay. And Andy, you said no because
I just don't think she likes the challenge that much. Like, it sounds simple to say, but like she wasn't really I say that, but then I think about the Bananas Angels, and then like she kind of was chopping it up a little bit, but in a very like small, tight knit crew. Like when it was teams, and there were a shit ton of people there, she wasn't really on the screen a lot. She wasn't chopping it up. I don't think she just likes being in that kind of environment. I think she started to come out of her shell a little bit when it got smaller and smaller. And I think that's like, for someone like her who's shown up, won multiple times, shown that she's a threat in the game, like the only reason that you come back is if you somewhat enjoy doing them. And I just don't see that happening. It does beg the question, though, now that she's got her second ring, 3 seasons, you have to have her higher than Emily.
we're not doing this today.
You have to.
We're not doing this today.
Because you know you're fighting the losing fight.
No. We're not doing this today. We'll save that for the season recap.
Both very similar competitors, both similar career length on the challenge. One has a couple rings, one doesn't.
Unbelievable. I think she.
Now Trev's going to badmouth her to kind of, prop up Emily a bit. Trev?
No, I think she comes back for another season. I think so.
Ooh.
I think she comes back, not a Challenge All-Stars, a true season, but I think it needs to be the right fit. Like, I think the next, like season 41, whatever it is, she's not going to be on. Like she needs time. And I think Alex kind of talked about it, or I think you actually, Andy, talked about it, was kind of her experience this season. Like everything was getting thrown against her. Like she needs to have a season where it's like teams or like she can't go solo, like a free agents game with this new era, or she's screwed. But I do think, I mean, she's a beast. She's good. I think she has at least one more season in her.
Yeah, and I think she's already shown us that she's not the type of person that's going to do every season. Like she'll take a few off at a time. And I think that's kind of the best way she should approach it, because when she comes on, she has a great chance of winning it all. But I think to Andy's point, like she doesn't seem like somebody like early stages Cara, where like the challenge is her life. That doesn't seem to be the case for Ginny. So I don't think she's going to come back next season. She might even take 2 or 3 off, but I feel like she will come back again at one point to do at least one more.
I will say I would really like to see her, because I do like her. She's a tough competitor. She, I think, is a threat, but not like she's way more physical than she is social. But like looking at like her game and Casey's games, I think are similar, just like on paper. But Ginny is much more entertaining and does have more of a social game than Casey. Casey fucking sucks. I never want to see her again. And Ginny is pretty bad at times. We get some very good butt shots. And she also won before, and then we obviously saw that in the confessionals later on this season. She won again. I want to see next Ginny season confessional.
Okay. And then rounding out the girls, Rachel, picking up the win, whatever you want to call. I mean, here's the thing. I think Rachel was very good all season. I think she was a great competitor. I think in the final, though, she did not do that well. She was in 3rd place. And the fact that it came down to a karma vote from her to go to 3rd to 1st is bullshit. That's just my opinion.
Agreed. She sucked. She did very, very bad.
Which surprised me. I thought Rachel was going to dominate, and she didn't. So, Andy, Will we see Rachel ever again? Yes or no?
No, I don't think so. This was it. This was the she hasn't come on in a while. She comes on, she wins. If you look at her season, it's a very impressive season. She was solo on Era One for a little bit. She did really well in the individual aspect during I think it was called Conquest. She did really well during Conquest, and she won. So, looking at it from that perspective, great season. I think she hangs it up. It just sucks that she won because her finale was fucking terrible. That was the worst part of her entire season, and she somehow came out on top. So, and I think she got a lot of the votes, a mix of the votes. I think she earned some of them because she did fight through a lot. But it showed all the Era One geriatrics saying I'm voting for Rachel just because she's old. That's why the karma vote was just so dumb. But I think she's done. She goes out on top. She's got a wife and kids. I actually don't know if she's more of a top or bottom or really how that works in that kind of relationship. But I think she's done.
Alex?
I don't think she's going to come back for another season. I mean, I already said kind of my thoughts on the whole tie thing. I think this is an impressive win for Rachel. It's an impressive just career thing. The fact that she, I think won 2 rings back when she was doing these things. She won the dual 2, and she was on X's. But aside from that, she wasn't on the show for 20 years basically. And she comes back and wins it all. And she does it in a way that she basically carries the Era One torch from episode 9 or 10, whenever that little spiky haired dude with the podcast and his loud buddy, whenever he got eliminated, she basically carried the torch from that point to now, to 2025. And she won it all. And I just think, when I think back to season 40 and just the most impressive people on it, the most impactful people, my mind's going to go to a small handful of names and then kind of a big second tier. But one of those top names is just going to be Rachel, because I think she got a really good edit. She obviously had a lot of karma on her side. She won a couple eliminations. She did pretty poorly in the final, but just good enough to stay in it and not get last place. I just think she really, really impressed me this season.
Yeah, I think overall she had a great season, but I think the overarching thing from all three of us, third place to first, production, what are we doing? Kind of ridiculous.
This was, in my opinion, way more Mickey Mouse for Rachel than it was for Jenny.
Yeah, because I feel like Jenny kind of was she had first or second on a majority of things, of the checkpoints or whatever. This was the first, I think this was the first thing that Rachel won straight up. Yeah. So,
which is just dumb.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't want to spend too much time on this, but we have one of the recurring themes, if you will, or topics of this season has been the Mount Rushmore. Does Rachel sneak into the conversation with her 3rd ring? What do you guys think?
I gotta do more research, but I think there is a conversation for it.
I think she's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah. I need to. Rachel's more out of my challenge historian, those early seasons. I don't know as well. I'm more of the newer crop, starting with the rivals on. So I got to go back to the foot. Got to go VAR and before I make a judgment call.
This is good for her because I do think it brings her into the conversation, which is great. Just for her to be in that conversation as one of the all-time greatest females. But I do agree. In my opinion, she's probably first 4 out.
Interesante. All right, moving on. Guys, let's start at number 4. Kylan, my man. 4th place, first final he's ever been in. For me, Kylan, I think Kylan played a good season this year. I think this final was a wake-up call of what some of these finals have been recently. He didn't look great. He was cramping. He was he had no chance of winning. But him finishing, him just getting, and he's kind of like, I don't want to call him yet the new face for the guys, but he's getting there. He's getting there. And he might at some time in the next 1, 2, 3 seasons be the new guy face that they're pushing. But overall, I think a good season for Kylan.
I think I agree completely. I think a really good season for Kylan. I think he a good mix of like new face, good at a lot of different shit. You can tell the rest of the cast really respects him. And you can also tell that he wants to win in a way that a lot of newbies sometimes don't these days. I think he will get multiple calls back, and I think he'll say yes to a lot of them. And he's just really interesting to me because he had his season last year where he looked good, but I don't think he didn't make the final last season. He was like a couple eliminations short, and like I guess there's a world where Kylan just like never gets called back after last season because he didn't make like an incredible splash. But he comes back this season. He has like a good team, a good support system around him. He was hooking up with Naya. People forget that. And he just he wins eliminations. He won a couple dailies at the right time when they were individual. And he just has this game that's very well-rounded, aside from the swimming. Obviously, like you mentioned, a big wake-up call in the final. And I just think this is a guy who he has a high floor in any given season just because he's basically Einstein compared to half these idiots. And he's good at a lot of different shit. He's won eliminations before. And I think he just has to kind of work on that last step, the swimming, the final, the endurance, the, mental strength that it takes to get through a 2-3 day final. But I'm really impressed by Kylan, and I was kind of holding out hope because I had seen a lot of the cast members saying, giving him high praises. And I think now I know why. Like I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next few seasons.
Andy, thoughts?
I agree. And one of my biggest things that I like about Kylan is, if this is incorrect, then that's just on me. But I'm pretty sure it's on record that he's just a big fan of the challenge. Like, I think he's mentioned it on the show that he's like legitimately watched this, like growing up, like has seen it all. Like, I'm pretty sure he's just a fan of the show and now he's just on it. That's the kind of shit I love. Like, give me someone who just loves this show, knows this show, wants to be on this show, and can do it well across the board. And I think this season, like, he made the final. Yeah, he got last place. That sucks. But he just is. He's making consistent progress. He made a final. The male talent in this season was light years better than last season. Like, last season was just like a bunch of just like nerds, geeks, and dorks. And granted, this one was a bunch of, people in their 40s and 50s, but they're still like a physical presence. So it was good for him to do it against good competition, better competition. And I think he's going to continue his career. And I think we're kind of just seeing maybe not the start of Kylan, but the early stages. He's still on his rookie contract, but I think he's going to get paid.
So would you say he's more like, you think this was his sophomore year? So his sophomore slump is over. There's no such thing for Kylan.
Correct.
Okay. So would you say his performance was better or worse than Anthony Richardson this year?
Stop it. Anthony Richardson. I guess my player comp, if we're looking at Anthony Richardson, would be like a combination of, because he's dual threat, they say. So I would say the dual threat would be like Corey's mental game
I mean, come on.
and smarts mixed with Anissa's physical game and capabilities. But I think Kylan's kind of like a Joe Burrow.
Okay, come on. You can't just give Joe Burrow. I mean, Burrow went to the Super Bowl.
Kylan went to the final.
He didn't go to this. He didn't finish 1 or 2.
Wasn't Burrow's second year once they got Jamar the year after?
Yes. So who says Jamar?
Horacio.
Jesus Christ. God. So you said you would say Richardson is a good compare. Richardson's probably better than Kylan.
No, Richardson's fucking terrible. And
All right.
Ursula's addicted to pills.
God.
All right.
All right. Moving forward, 3rd place. Imagine Anthony Richardson throwing a seam ball of his 6. Well, Mr. 50% going to throw the ball. That was great, Mikey the doctor. That might be the comment of the night. Moving forward, 3rd place, the Banana Man himself, Johnny Bananas. For me, I was a little disappointed in his finale performance. I wanted it to be more neck and neck with Jordan. I mean, and literally nobody was even close to Jordan. Jordan dominated this final. But I still wanted to see Bananas keep up. This was kind of the first time, even losing to Derek, that am I asking the question, is it time to hang it up?
Stop it.
I mean, he still made the finals, and that's still an achievement. I mean, he has the most, like, everybody's gunning for him. It's still so damn impressive. But I guess the question I should be asking, can Bananas ever win again?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay.
This whole finale was fluky-y.
Oh,
The whole thing was like there was very limited running. It was all fucking swimming. They just swam. They like tried out for the US Olympic team. That's what we just watched. It was so dumb. And even like the challenges, the checkpoints, whatever the fuck, they weren't your typical puzzles. They weren't your typical physical things. They weren't your eating. Like, this finale sucked. This was such a fluke from a typical finale. So like, it was a disappointment from Bananas, but like, I get it because it was fluky. This was not your standard finale, and I think that's why we got such a bad performance. No excuses, because what I'm more so thinking is I don't think we're going to see a finale like this again. 1, because it was dumb. 2, because it was terrible to watch. So to answer your question, if we revert back to the OG kind of finales, then I certainly think Bananas can and will win another ring.
Alex?
Yeah, I think what I kind of took away from Bananas on the final tonight was I do think he can win a challenge. I think a couple things. His window is closing, and not to be surprised. I mean, he's 42 years old. I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing seasons 8 years from now, but I would be surprised if he's like making finals 8 years from now, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like his window right now to actually like compete for first place is maybe in the next 3-4 years. Like, he's going to be 45 by the end of that. And I think he can still do it. Like, he made the final in season 40, but I think it needs to be the right circumstance. And it definitely cannot be against someone like Jordan. Jordan is a fucking machine. We'll get to him in a little bit, but like, if this final would have been like Bananas, Kylan, Corey, and Josh or something, like, I think Bananas wins that. And I think also too, maybe because Jordan was in this final, Bananas did the thing that he did on Ride or Dies, which pissed us off. He kind of didn't take it seriously. Like, on Ride or Dies, he definitely did it a lot more. He was kind of just cracking jokes. He was, giving Nani shit the whole time. And it's like, you're a fucking challenge legend. Like, I know you think you're too cool for school now, but like, actually try. And maybe the reason he kind of did that persona tonight was because Jordan was just kicking everybody's asses. But like, I want to see him make another final and actually go all out and actually like be like, I want to win this. I don't care who my competition is. Like, I'm going to give it my all and like try my hardest. And I hope we get that. And I think if we get another final that has bananas in it that doesn't have like Jordan in it, I think he can give it all. And I think he still has a shot at winning, but that window is definitely closing.
I like you said one thing that I think is so true. And I think bananas just kind of, I almost want to say like, he kind of just gave, I don't want to say gave up. I really don't. But even his last confessional, he talked about, I felt just like an honor competing against the season against 20 people. Like, I want that fiery bananas. Like, damn, I got third. Like, I have to be better. Like, I need to win. And that's one thing that upset me with bananas tonight. Like, I want him to still have that fire. And like Alex said, in the older seasons, like with Ride or Dies with Nani, he was just like, I'm happy I got Nani. Like, why are you happy on second place? Why are you happy on third? Like, you're Johnny Bananas. If you are the GOAT, if you ain't first, you're last.
Well, and here's the thing. I think Bananas is finally getting to the point that I don't think he's felt in a long, long time. Honestly, since probably like prime CT, where he's not the alpha of the season. Jordan was the alpha of this season, and Bananas knew it. And when the rubber meets the road in the finale like this, I think Bananas was like his defense mechanism, if you will, was to go into the too cool for school, kind of like when Bryce Meyer went back to high school. But like, I think if Bananas thinks he is the alpha, then I think we're seeing the competitive Bananas, which I think we could see because like I really do think the only person who could be the Bananas kryptonite for these last few seasons that he could potentially do would be Jordan. But I mean, you got like the Le Mans, you've got Monaco Grand Prix, you've got Indy 500, you've got a lot of different reasons why Jordan isn't going to be available for for any given season. So I think Bananas could be maybe not in the driver's seat, but like passenger seat. And if Jordan's in the driver's seat, I think Bananas is going to win.
Moving on, second place, Derek. Honestly, Derek, probably the biggest sleeper of the year. I think I had Derek ranked like 15th or 14th in the power rankings. I don't even think any of us had. Did any of us have him in the top 10?
I had him at 2.
Yeah, 200. I was shocked throughout this entire season how it played out. He played a very good political game, was on everybody's good side, and when it mattered most, beat Corey in elimination. And then tonight, and obviously last week, like he performed very well. And when you're competing against Jordan, like you can only do so much. He surprised me all season. I think Derek isn't Derek still on radar watch? He might be. I think just an absolute great season for Derek.
Is this his last season?
I think so. I think he'll do more flagship. I think he does a couple like the spin-offs. Sorry, excuse me. Challenge All-Stars, all that stuff. I think because that's more of his element of having some of the old school people. I know we've kind of talked about that a lot tonight, but having the older cast together, I don't see him doing it with whoever our new crop is. Unless it's maybe a show where we get some fresh new people where, there's captains involved and, maybe that. But I have no idea what kind of game that would be. So
I think Derek was incredibly impressive this season. The fact that he made it second, I don't think any of us saw that coming. And the thought that kind of went through my mind tonight was like, is this someone that there was almost like a missed opportunity back in like when his younger years? Because I mean, there's a reason we were all surprised by him because he doesn't have like a great challenge resume. just off the top of my head, I know he went home maybe first on Cutthroat. He made it pretty far on Battle of the Seasons in like a weird format, but also went home early on Rivals 2, and I think that was it. And like, again, it makes sense that he didn't get many calls back around that time, but like, what if he had gotten a few more calls back? Like, does he kind of find like a weird format like this where he's able to showcase some of his like kind of social skills, and he's able to make it far, and he's able to win like an endurance challenge or make a final, something like that? Like, that's kind of what went through my mind, because obviously Derek is a little bit older, but what would have happened if maybe he had gotten a few more seasons under his belt back in the day? Could he have? I don't know if he would have won a challenge, but maybe he has a couple like bronze medals or something like that.
I mean, that would be great to debate on like a Mount Rushmore of like what ifs if we ever were to do something like that. I don't know, maybe down the line. But Andy, your thoughts?
Good season. Enjoyed him. Don't want to see him again.
Ooh, interessante. Why is that?
I don't think he can win. Especially at this point in time. Like, to Alex's point, I think we missed the Derek window. And we still got a little glimpse of it this season, this finale. Phenomenal season. Nothing but respect for Derek. I think he did a great job really all season, finished second in the finale. Again, kind of a fluky finale. But he had a great season. It was good to see someone that, like, because essentially, like, not necessarily half, but like 40% of this season, like when we saw the cast list, it was like, what the fuck are we doing? And for me, Derek was in that category and proved me wrong. So I was glad that Derek really held it down for a lot of eras 2 and also 1, in my opinion, even though he was era 2, of like, why are we bringing these people back? Well, this is why. So I was very happy with him this season. I thought he did a great season, was entertaining. Personally, I just don't want to see him again. I don't think he's got it.
Okay. Moving on, last but not least, first place, Jordan. And I'll set the stage. I think Jordan is the greatest challenge competitor of all time. I said it. Embrace debate.
Trev, I think I agree with you.
Hey, welcome to the dark side. I just don't know. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's unbelievable. Like, hate him, whatever. I mean, he is a douchebag, whatever. The dude is unbelievable. Tonight, last week, it wasn't even a competition. The dude probably could have done the exact same thing twice and still finished in first. Like, it is unbelievable.
He's so fucking good.
I think he's the GOAT. And Andy, I think you're going to go against, and you're going to go with your MVP pick that you have gone for 10 times. But I'm sorry, like, competitor-wise, he's unbelievable.
Look, Jordan is incredible. He's clearly shown that. He's won countless times. But that's like saying, and I think this is the perfect comparison. You've got Patrick Mahomes and you've got Tom Brady. If Patrick Mahomes keeps up the level that he's at right now, there's not going to be a debate. But Tom Brady did it longer. The longevity of how you can continue to win at an old age is what gets you that status. And that's why no one's done what Brady has done before. And that's also why no one has achieved what Bananas has achieved on the challenge other than himself. That's just a fact. If Jordan continues it, it's not even going to be a conversation. Not even going to be close. And I think he will. Hand up. But until that happens, hand up. But until that happens, Bananas is my GOAT.
So
Brady is my GOAT.
I don't hate your comparison there at all. The only thing, and this also brings back the whole, what do we count as the GOAT? I think if you're talking about everything all around, what the show embodies, the drama, everything like that, I think you have to put Bananas as the GOAT, number one. Greatest challenge competitor of all time, GOAT, is Jordan, I think, still. I there's no other person I would take. I like Jordan better than Bananas there.
But I like, even just to your point, and I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way of doing this, but I'm just going to be the Bananas stan here. If you're just looking at greatest challenge competitor of all time, then that makes the ring count even more important.
Penway, nice of you to join again tonight. But dude, I don't know. I think maybe this is even more crazy than what I'm about to say. I think Patrick Mahomes' talent is better than Tom Brady's talent.
I don't think that's crazy to say, Trev. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I understand where you're coming from, the eye test, what he's proven, but like Brady won when he was 42?
Yeah.
Bananas won when he was, I don't know, late 30s, probably. Like
50.
That is what makes the greatest of all time, in my opinion, because no one else can do that. No one else has ever done that.
So let me ask you this, Andy. The only way that Jordan is the greatest of all time in your eyes is to match the rings, or if he gets another one, let's say he comes back season 50. That's the only season he does in the next 10 years. Win season 50. Is he considered the GOAT for you?
That would put him at what, 6 rings?
6. So a ring behind him. So it's all about rings for you.
It's not all about rings.
Okay.
But rings play the vast majority because here's the thing. You got the rings. So that's, like, to your point, the competitor aspect. And Bananas is built for the challenge. He's built for this shit. He is the challenge. Without Bananas, circa like season dirty 30, if Bananas didn't take the money and run, we might not even be talking right now. That's just a fact.
I agree. I like I said, I agree. I think, like I said, how I phrased it in the beginning, Jordan is the greatest challenge competitor of all time. And I will stand it. I think he is. Like, I just don't know. I don't like the rings argument at all. So, like, for NBA, you're saying you think Bill Russell's the GOAT? Like, I don't even think that's a compare. Like,
but here's the
game has changed. The game's fucking changed in the challenge.
You can't compare basketball because you've got 5 different guys that actively impact. The quarterback of the team dictates how the team goes. The challenge is a one-man band.
Well, not if you're Bananas and you're on teams to win 3 rings.
And Jordan never won without a team?
Yeah, he's won with a team. He's won with a duo. But I'm just saying, multiple people's very different than.
I'm saying, the Brady and Mahomes comparison is exactly how I view it. If Mahomes / Jordan keeps it up, it's not even going to be a debate. But until that happens, I got my GOAT. He's also 2 behind. If he ties him, maybe. If he's 1 behind, I still can't do it.
I don't like the rings. I don't like the rings argument. I really don't.
And he's still 2 behind.
Okay. It don't matter. So, Alex, any takeaways from that?
I mean, I think I still land on, and this is pretty reactionary because we just found out Jordan won tonight, but I think I still land on the side of Jordan being the GOAT. He's just amazing. And if you think about, so I think I saw some stats in the chat. I think his numbers, if we're not counting the spinoffs and everything, is actually 4 rings in 8 seasons.
Well, that doesn't help.
But if you look at the 4 seasons that Jordan did not win, they are his rookie season,
final,
where he made the final and lost to Wes and CT and Bananas and Frank. His Second time was when he flipped all the cards against Bananas, which like was his fault. Like he sent himself in. He was an idiot at the time, but it made for great TV. The third time was when he had a pole wrestle against Fezzi. Again, like kind of his fault for getting sent in there, but like he has fucking one hand. And his fourth time, he dragged Anissa's big pig roast ass to a final. So like he doesn't
Andy, that's a ring right there.
he doesn't have that like season on his resume where he went home first or went home like super early. And granted, his resume isn't 20 seasons long like Bananas. So maybe if he did 20 seasons, he would have those blemishes. But like he's done 8 seasons, and to win half of them is insane to start with. And then if you just look at the other half, it's like all of them are very easy, explainable, and like impressive in their own right, especially the Anissa one. So I just think like the fact that we started this and we knew Jordan was a huge threat this season with a very strong male cast, and he just like beat them all, kind of slid to the finish line. He said it himself, didn't have to go into elimination, and then he kicks everybody's ass in the final.
But the flip side of that coin is we all knew Bananas was going to be a threat this season. Every single person aside from the Angels was gunning for him, and he still made the final and finished behind 2 other people. He finished top 3 in the final. I'm not saying that's something to be proud of. I'm not a participation trophy guy, but to your point, what you just said, Bananas had a target on his back at the start of the season and throughout the entire season and still made the final at what, 40?
But so did Jordan.
I know, but you just like said that was like an accolade for Jordan. Bananas was under the fire the entire season and still made it through. Jordan never went to elimination. Jordan didn't have anything close to what Bananas felt.
But
it's still to the brand of what Bananas has gotten himself over the last 20 years versus what Jordan hasn't.
But that's good on Jordan. Like Jordan played a very good political game.
But it's also good on Bananas. Bananas was back against the wall this entire season. Still,
I see Andy's point on that. Let me go this route with Andy with the whole rings debate. One last thing with it. If season 41, Jordan and Anissa are partners, Jordan and Anissa win. Hey, Jordan, you have the chance to take the money and run, and he does. Is there any movement on the go meter if he does that with Anissa? So Anissa gets her first win, but then it just says Anissa $0.
If Jordan wins a final with Anissa,
I mean, that's the greatest life achievement. Give that man a Nobel Prize. Like,
I mean, that's the most impressive thing that we will ever see in our entire lifetime. Not even just challenge related, just in humanity related.
Yeah. He almost did, which is crazy. He went to a final.
I'm not doubting Jordan's talents. Patrick Mahomes is fucking incredible. I just need to see the longevity.
I understand. So, all right. Anything else? Segments? MVP, LVP? Is that all we got tonight?
Should we do MVP, LVP?
Yeah, let's just do MVP, LVP. Chat for the last time this season. Well, second to last time this season. MVP, LVP time. I actually don't know where I'm going with this.
And this is, to clarify, this is just for tonight's episode because we will give full season MVP, LVPs on our full season recap and award show.
All right, Tommy Tsunami, Alex, Trevor, Andy. Alex, take it away.
I think this is pretty easy for my MVP. I'm going to go with the one person of the 8 challengers left that did not have to share first place with anybody. I'm going to go Jordan, getting his 4th ring. He now has almost as many rings as fingers. But I think this is just another notch in his book. He's a legend. So I'm just going to go Jordan MVP. He killed everybody.
Yeah.
Wait, time out. Was this his 4th ring or 5th ring? I thought this was his 5th ring.
It's his 4th. He's 4th. Okay. So they counted his 5th ring was that world championship show. So it had a mix of.
But okay. Great pick. He dominated. Wait. Was this the most dominant final we've ever seen?
Oh my God. Where have you been? That was how we opened the show. All right. My LVP, I really don't want to give it to anybody.
Wait, LVP?
MVP. Sorry. MVP. I really don't want to, so I'm not going to give it to one person. I'm going to give it to multiple people. My MVP is going to be the AWLs because we sat through this shit tonight. I don't know. I'm just blessed we don't have to watch another episode tonight. Like, unbelievably painful episode, but we're done. We did it, guys. We're through. Let's move on to the next thing. Flagships championship clear. No, flat or the world championship spinoffs and stuff. That does not count as a ring. There's no way. That's Mickey Mouse bullshit. Like
that'd be like Mahomes saying he's got another ring because he won the Pro Bowl.
I was gonna say that. God, yeah, no, there's no way that counts. The only one that counts is Bananas when he said he was saving the Make-A-Wish kid. That's the only ring that counts.
Too far.
All right, Andy, MVP.
My MVP pick was actually pretty easy.
I swear to God.
I don't think you guys know where I'm going. My MVP pick for tonight is going to be my GOAT, my top dog, Kenny fucking Santucci.
Wait, what? ...
You Habbies might not have noticed it, but I sure didn't. After they announced the winners and everything, they're doing the recaps of the eras and they're showing little clips of this, clips and that, clips of this. And lo and behold, Mr. Beautiful winds up back on our screen as they're talking about the entire history of the challenge. You cannot tell the story of the challenge without Mr. Beautiful. As he's winning ruins, it shows him on there. Give me more Kenny Santucci on my screen, injected into my veins. Kenny Santucci, MVP.
Wait, so did you say Kenny's the GOAT?
Yes.
So Kenny's the GOAT, but has won how many seasons and been on how many seasons? So yeah. So let's.
You know what I'm. You want to bring Johnny Riley into the mix here, Trev, or Tony?
Johnny Riley's not the GOAT. He's my king.
He's okay, so there you go. Kenny's my king.
He's the Prince of Boston.
Kenny Santucci, MVP. Never thought I'd see the day.
Also, I don't know why the chat's getting so mad about the Make-A-Wish rings and stuff. Like, those are not rings, people.
No.
TJ has said before that those do not count.
No.
How is that even a debate?
Like, are we counting Champs for Stars as rings? Come on. Like,
wasn't Victor Cruz one of the hosts?
Yes. I think
they're trying to say that ring counts for somebody.
I mean, come on.
All right, let's do LVP.
Yeah, LVP. Andy, who you got?
This one I didn't think about because once I saw Kenny, my eyes just lit up like a Christmas tree. But I will give my LVP to Tori.
Ooh.
Not a good look. This was her season to win. Like, if she won the finale, then her season is just in line with Jordan's. Like, they dominated all season. They kind of just like coasted. They won when they needed to. Like, Tori had a great season, but then to throw a dud like this in the final, not having it.
Yeah, I mean, Tori, I wish I wish he would have showed up. Didn't the lights were too bright.
Yep.
So moving on, my LVP pick, I think this is a layup for me, is ties. The fact that we had a tie for the winner. I mean, we got to the most pivotal moment, the apex mountain of this season, and literally we got a tie. Are you telling? Like, could you imagine Patrick Mahomes playing fucking Jared Goff in the Super Bowl this year, and they're like, you know what, guys, it's a tie. We're done. We're done. Let's get to next season. Like, come on. What are we doing, guys? A tie? Now, I'm not going to lie. If it did come down to like overtime in the Super Bowl and they're just like, we don't want to play more football. Like, Andy, let's just do this. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Wait, on shoot?
On shoot. So.
That's a great pick.
Thank you. Alex, round us out. LVPs. Who you got?
My LVP for tonight is going to be swimming.
Oh, I thought.
Oh, that's a great pick.
I'm going to go with swimming. I think swimming has its place in the challenge. It has its place in a final even, but the amount that they used it tonight and last week was just really just stupid. There was no running at all. There was no moving around on sand, anything like that. Like the fact that it was this dependent on swimming just doesn't make any sense. So I'm just going to give my LVP to swimming tonight.
That's a really good pick.
Thank you.
Anything else from tonight's episode? I think an honorable mention LVP has to be spinoffs. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys are so uptight about, like, literally, King Cash writes, so you're telling me we counting Banana's final win on the island, but not Jordan's world championship? Yeah, I'm absolutely saying that. We're on season 40 of the challenge right now. When was world championship in that season 1 through 40? What number is that? I also want to say,
who knows? Who cares? King Cash and TT are just off their rocker tonight. This is unbelievable.
I also want to say this. Honorable mention MVP, Jimmy Fallon. And why I'm saying Jimmy Fallon tonight is because Jimmy Fallon back about 10 seasons ago was saying season 30. And we said on this podcast, when does anybody refer to the challenge as season 30 or something like that? I feel like nowadays we use it all the time. Like He was ahead of his time. I got to give a shout out. Like,
I thought you were going to throw in a fever pitch reference there.
Oh, no.
Is it spongy?
No, if I were to use anything from Fever Pitch, it would be like, you love the challenge, but have they ever loved you back? God. Tom says between 37 and 38. What the fuck does that mean? It was season 37.5? Like,
5.9 and 3/4.
Yeah. I mean, this is crazy.
Season 37.5. It deserves a ring. That's what TT says.
Yeah. It was on MTV, guys. I watched it, right? No, it was on CBS. It's like Challenge USA. You want to count a ring for that? Challenge USA. You probably want to give rings out to what's the challenge? What's the other one there? Argentina. That's on.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
hell, at this point, they're going to be giving it for Are You the One?
God. So. I see a lot of other things in the chat with the graphic of Jordan. That will be tweeted out. There's got to be one extra edit that needs to happen.
Honorable mention LVP. I'm just doing a quick fact check. But now that we're done with the whole season, 0 recap appearances from Adam Meadows.
We did it. We did it, boys. Speaking of Adam Meadows, I feel like, we got to give him another solo pod. I don't know. I feel like we might have to do the Dagger 2.0, 3.0. Almost like if there was a time that all three of us could get together, maybe in some college town.
Do we give him a karma vote?
I'm giving him karma votes for sure. Anything else? I'm looking at the chat. Anything else? Air on MTV, it doesn't count as a win. Sounds very fluky.
I think that's fluky.
Yes.
Yeah. King Cash, do you count the Spurs lockout season win? No, it's a Mickey Mouse title. Any COVID rings, Mickey Mouse titles. Chelsea Champions League,
watch it.
Mickey Mouse. Oh boy, I'm Andy. I love Mickey Mouse and Chelsea. Ben Swag writes, "Are you guys like recap? I'm guessing recap All Stars 5, dude. I don't know, Alex. They've been. Tommy now writes recap All Stars 5. I'll say this: if I can get one other person, Andy or Alex, to recap, I'm in. But one condition, I got to go bi-weekly. Like episodes 1 and 2 recap, 3 and 4 recap. I can't do anything else. Thoughts? Anybody wants to join?
No. Period.
We'll get into that.
I mean, Andy being the first one out. I mean, what else is new? I think he's going on Fezzi's island trip or something like that. But I don't know. My boy Dario is back, and I'm all in.
Don't be looping me in for being out because I'm out on these little spin-off Mickey Mouse bullshit seasons. That's unbelievable on your part.
Andy, the only reason why I want to recap All Stars 5 is Dario. That's the only reason.
Why don't you and Tsunami do it? I
mean, I might have to. I mean, it might be the new Stir the Pod crew. I might just take the money and run from you two. Take the whole IP.
Watch it.
Call me fucking what's her name? Taking Call Her Daddy. I mean, that's what I'm about to do. Me
Trevor Cooper.
Trevor Cooper, yeah. God. But anything else from tonight's episode?
When do we think we're going to be doing the award show?
20 minutes. I'm game. I'm game whenever.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Yes, just tune into the socials.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's only 10 episodes. Guys, we just recorded the past 20 weeks in a row. I don't know how many I got left in me, Teach. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to a brand new. And honestly, guys, hell of a job this season. I know we've gone through a lot of ups and downs. There's been Emily fights. There's been fights all over the place. I think that all deserves one final time, one clap from all of us. On go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow. You weren't going to say, oh, on go? Damn.
Wait. On go.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Close enough. Seriously, guys, thank you guys so much for being there all this entire season. It means a lot to us. I love chatting with all you guys, from Mikey Doctor, Ben Swag. I mean, there's some Tommy Tsunami, Dabu. I mean, there's a million other people. Jesse Adams, Brian McCord. I mean, we love doing this shit. So thank you guys, seriously. We'll see you guys. I don't know. We'll see you guys in the future, I guess. But thank you guys. Love you guys. Follow us on Twitter, Stir the Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Stir_the_pod. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Shout out Duffy. Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.